Chief Meteorologist Joel Barnes just with a quick update here at 6:30. No severe thunderstorm warnings right now in West Tennessee, although we're still under a tornado watch. That's out till 11 p.m. tonight. We're watching a couple different areas of concern. We've got this line of thunderstorms up to the north, and we had that big supercell north of Memphis, which is really weakened over the last 30 minutes. So some pretty good news there. Let's start with the storm that was tornadic warned earlier. Just a couple of lightning strikes, but it's starting to re-strengthen a little bit right here north of Somerville. So we're going to watch this as it moves up to the east. Right now, though, it's not producing much for hail. It may try to strengthen. Looks like this storm is going to stay south of Jackson. If it continues the same track, looks like it could impact some places like Bolivar, Henderson, could be in the path of this. Fayette Corners, as it will stay. If it does move into Madison County, southern sections, that storm will miss us here in Jackson no matter what it does. Well, here's the little area of concern for rotation. Right there now east of Oakland. It was rotating pretty good as it crossed the Mississippi River, but once it got into North Memphis, really lost a lot of its rotation. But here's the area we're watching. If it does try to produce a tornado, it's going to come right here west of Whiteville. So again, we'll watch that. There's also a line of storms we're watching up to the north. Look at the severe weather. A lot of hail makers lining up along this northern line, and some of these cells right now, even north of Union City, are probably producing at least quarter-size hail. We've also got a couple of storms we're watching trying to develop along the southwest section of that line. So we got the storms up to the north, down to south of us. Look at this explosion of supercells. These are all producing large hail, but the general direction of these is almost due east. So I think all these stay just south of us. So our main concern tonight is that one storm and then this line up here to the north. But some brand new development in the last few minutes also north of Little Rock. So we're not done with the severe storm threat tonight. Even if that first cell we were watching near Memphis doesn't end up doing much, we still got a chance for along this line for some initial development tonight, but we're going to continue to watch anything that develops here in WBBJ. We're going to be doing Facebook Lives, okay, on our WBBJ news page. We're also going to be live on our YouTube channel. We're going to be doing updates not only on TV. If the storms continue to be strong, you'll see me more on TV. But if they're a little weaker, you can join us on our Facebook Live page, WBBJ News, as well as our Storm Team 7 Facebook page. Also, you can watch us on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, search WBBJ. So we're going to continue to watch any of this storm development for the remainder of the night. It looks like we're going to be wrapping on up between 10 and 11 p.m. tonight. Real quick, one last final look here before we head back to regular broadcasting, kind of on that storm situation for all of West Tennessee. So here's the latest look on the live radar. Again, if you're watching us up to the north, we still got that line that we're watching. This is slowly going to drop southward, and our one little supercell west of Memphis, looks like that one's fizzling on out. So we're going to watch things very closely tonight, but keep it with WBBJ on TV, online. If we get any tornado warnings, we'll cover them live for the entirety of the warning. But we'll see you here a little bit later coming up.
Mic check one. Welcome in, folks. Here's a quick update while there's a bit of a lull in the action. We'll take a look at on our downtown Jackson camera. Right now, 68 degrees at Jackson Regional Airport. Dew points have made it into the 60s. Now, we'll give you a full look at the whole region's dew points here in just a second. Pressure on the way down. Low pressure system associated with that cold front is going to miss us just off to the north. Here's a look at those dew points. We're all in the 60s except for Alamo, registering at 58 right now. But Savannah, I believe, is at 69 because they've already seen some form of showers today. But you can see off to the west, this green to brown gradient, that's where the cold front is. That's where that much drier area is. It's going to move in. It's going to push all of these supercells, all these storms off to the east and out of our area. Here's a look at the big picture. We've got our cold air coming in from the Rocky Mountains, our warm, moist air coming off the Gulf. And as you can see, there's a wall, almost continuous line of severe thunderstorm warnings stretching from Arkansas into Alabama. That's really the reason why our big storm near Memphis just kind of fizzled out, and that storm really not so impressive anymore. But we'll give you a zoom in, a closer look and a track on everything that's going on here across the region. Here's some cells starting to pop up in the boot heel of Missouri. As you can see, we put a track on it, 654. It'll start to move into Pemiscot County, Missouri, 710 for Tiptonville, 720 Samberg in Lake County, 743 for Union City, 750 Mason Hall, and 757 Kenton, all of those in Obion County. Now we'll go down south to our storm along Highway 64, just north of Highway 64. It'll be at 701 in Middleburg, 707 in Bolivar. This storm has a history of rotating. However, really rather fizzled out, but we're going to keep a track on it because our model still indicates that it's possible that it could re-intensify here within the next hour or so. But 708 Bolivar Community Hospital, 722 Hornsby's, 734 Hickory Corner, 741 Bethel Springs, 748 Purdy, and 757 Gilchrist. We've got one more thing we're going to look at. We're going to show you the rotation. Was right here. You can see it's moved off just to the northeast of Somerville. It's not impressive, not tight, very broad, very weak rotation. But we're going to zoom out and we're going to show you what's going on in Mississippi. And here's just a wall of severe thunderstorms. This is exactly why all that better energy is getting eaten up by every single one of these individual supercells you can see popping up. All of these pinks, some of them have some black in there. That is large hail being dropped all across central and northern Mississippi. But we're going to pretty much get lucky here, just like we did last weekend. Storms in Mississippi are going to eat up the better energy while we have the better spin. But we'll take a look because we still haven't been downgraded by the SPC, still under a level 2 for almost all of West Tennessee, except for northwestern Dyer County, all of Lake County, and western Obion County. And here's a look at Futurecast again. We're looking at a bit of a lull in the action. There's some stuff trying to fire on, this is along the cold front, 7 o'clock through Gibson, Carroll, and a cell along the Hatchie River between Lauderdale and Tipton County. Again, not very impressive looking, but we're going to keep an eye on this. I have Chief Meteorologist Joel Barnes here with me. But we're right now 8 o'clock. Looks like it's starting to dwindle down, and then by 9, 10 o'clock, it will be out of West Tennessee. But we're going to give you a little bit of a forecast going into tomorrow. It's going to be a much nicer week after the storm system clears on out of West Tennessee. And we're looking at a low of about 45 degrees tonight, folks. We'll catch you back here later tonight.
Chief Meteorologist Joel Barnes here just with a quick update at the top of the hour. We're still under a tornado watch till 11 p.m. No severe thunderstorms right now here in West Tennessee, but we're watching this line up to the north. A lot of big hail makers up north in that line, and it's still got to come by. Our southern storm, the one that had a tornado warning tag as it moved just north of Memphis, has split into a couple different cells. Neither one of these cells I'm overly concerned about right now, but it was an ugly storm as it rolled through Millington right over the National Weather Service out of Memphis radar. But you notice once it got east of Millington, it just really started to lose a lot of its bright colors, stopped producing hail, no longer rotated and kind of weakened. But this first storm, as it moves off to the east, again, not expecting severe weather, but here's kind of a look at the timing for Sardis, Scotts Hill, Bath Springs, and Henderson when it'll be coming on through. We had some rotation with this storm. Look at the bright colors west of Millington as it crossed the Mississippi River, but then it just really kind of ran out of steam. If it is going to produce a tornado, it's going to be along this southern line, but really losing a lot of storm energy right now as it tracks off to the east. The main concern for me tonight, I think, is going to be this line up north. There's a chance that a lot of these do just kind of fizzle on out as they drop southward, especially after the sun goes down. We're going to lose a little bit more storm energy, and that's been the big problem here in West Tennessee. We've got a lot of rotation in the atmosphere, just not a lot of storm energy tonight, but still producing some hail. This is the northern border. Tennessee, Kentucky, some pretty large hail up to the north, and we've got these two little hails that have just kind of split in this storm crossing 55. Looks like just west of Ridgely right now. So we're going to watch this storm as it's got two different hail cells with it as it's tracking down to the southeast. The bulk of the storms tonight, where they seem to have always been over the last few months, down into Mississippi. There's one that's close to Counts. Looks like that'll stay just south of the Pickwick Dam area. But look at each one of these clusters that are going up. Each one of these storms in the cluster is producing large hail tonight. Those are all severe thunderstorm warnings, all for hail. But I think this southern section stays to the south of us. And I think our one storm that was rotating earlier, not a problem. There's another one we're watching northeast of Little Rock. We'll watch that. We've still got our line up here to the north, which is going to have to come on by. So we'll see what this northern line does. Again, I'm not too worried about this southern storm right now, but we'll see. Futurecast thinks this northern line is really going to die on out over the next hour or two after the sun goes down. Obviously, if you're a watcher of weather or forecast models, you know they're not always right. So we're going to watch things closely with that line as it drops down to the south, just in case they do get a little bit stronger tonight before they move on through. We're going to have more updates, though, on our Facebook Live. By the way, if you're just now catching this, we are live now on Facebook on our WBBJ Storm Team page, plus our WBBJ News page, plus we're also live now giving updates on our YouTube channel. So be sure to check those out in the meantime. Hopefully you don't see me tonight anymore on TV. That means the storms are dead, but we'll update you online.